guys, thanks for tuning in for another weekly wrap-up of the comics/graphic novels trades that I read for the week. First up, I started reading Batman Detective Comics, The Wrath. I do believe this is volume 4. And I'm not really feeling the Detective Comics New 52 all that much. It seems to be just okay. I thought this one jumped around way too much. Like, it seemed to focus on the Man-Bat, and then it kind of jumped around to other minor villains who I've never heard of. So, it's okay. I rated this one 3 out of 5 stars. If you're into Batman, you might like this, but I really thought it was kind of lacking. The artwork is kind of cool, but it jumps around kind of a lot, like back and forth between the Man-Bat and other villains, so yeah, I just wasn't feeling it. It was okay. Just an average read. They can't all be 4 or 5 star books. Next up we have X-Men Legacy for We Are Many. This is my first exposure to this title of this X series. Of course, it involves Legion, or I guess he's known as Legacy now. Well, anyways, if you do not know who that character is, he is Charles Xavier, Professor X's son, and he is schizophrenic. He has multiple personalities, and he is an Omega class mutant. He has like godlike powers. He can do all these different things. This book starts out really kind of silly. He's being interviewed by Sword and some weird alien guy, and it's hard to say if this guy is like a figment of his imagination, if he's one of his personalities, or if this is really going on. And we see that he's having a relationship with the X-Man Blindfold, and it just really gets surreal and kind of weird later on. But I kind of got the meaning of the story, that he's dealing with the death of his father. Professor X has been killed, and how he's supposed to carry on his legacy and, you know, help the X-Men to become what they should be. So, like, I got that, but I thought the story was just kind of average and really too silly at times for me. I don't know that I would read another X-Men Legacy book. I mean, I might check it out just for the hell of it, because I'm curious about this Legion/Legacy character. But aside from that, I only rated this 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It was just okay. I mean, the artwork, like the covers and stuff, were really cool. I will give it that much. After that, I picked up X-Force Not Forgotten. This is volume 3, and this is the older X-Force, not the original X-Force, but the one where Wolverine's the leader and they're taking out targets that are anti-mutant. Well, anyways, this one focused more on X-32, Wolverine's clone, Sarah Kinney, and it was about the people who created her. They kidnap her and they want to take genetic samples from her to make more clones, because they feel that she's a failed experiment, because she cannot be controlled anymore. And we learn a little bit more about her, what makes her tick. And this is the prelude to Necrotia too. So the artwork is fantastic. It's like digitally painted and it looks great. Aside from that, I really thought this was an interesting story, because I think that Laura Kinney as a character is a interesting character. You know, she's a clone made from Wolverine, and just to learn a little bit more about her was kind of cool. And I already read Necrotia, so, you know, that's part. It didn't really focus on that all that much, but, you know, it kind of filled in some little bits. So this one I rated 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It was pretty cool. If you are interested in Wolverine or his clone, check it out. Next up we have X-Force, A Force to be Reckoned With. This was done by Rob Liefeld. He was the guy who created Cable. And Cable is Nathan Summers, who is the son of Cyclops and the Jean Grey clone Madeline Pryor. Which I think, speaking of Madeline Pryor, I think I want to reread the Inferno Saga, because that was pretty epic in its day and it was pretty cool. But anyways, this is the New Mutants, like, revised, and all of a sudden they are X-Force. So, of course, I think this was done in the 90s, and that's why I like the radical hair, you know. Like, there's this Catwoman, and which makes no sense to me, is why is this cat lady wearing gloves, but she has claws? Wouldn't her claws go through her gloves? Just stupid shit like that, but then, like, her big hair, it just really looks kind of ugly. But, and, like, Cannonball's costume's kind of dumb looking. But I like, I think his name is Warpath, who's Proud Star there. I think he's a pretty cool character. And for some reason, I've just really been liking Shatterstar. And Shatterstar is like an alternate version of Longshot. He's from the Mojo verse, the Mojo universe. And he's just, I think he's become an interesting character for me. But I mean, I really wasn't feeling this. And especially when you got to the end, it was like they battled Juggernaut and Black Tom. And then it turns into, you know, the Spider-Man book. And the whole book is oriented like this, the rest of the story. So that really drives me nuts that I read my books in public when I'm waiting for stuff. So like, to see me, it looks like I'm looking at a centerfold. It's kind of just really obnoxious. I really didn't like the layout for that. And then the transition, too. Like, all of a sudden, Juggernaut's red, and then when it gets to the Spider-Man book, he's brown. What? Consistency. That's all I asked for. Consistency. But yeah, I rated this one 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It's okay. Do I think that you have to read this if you're a fan of Cable or the New Mutants or X-Men in general? No, I think you can get away with not reading this. It wasn't that great, and I don't think that canon-wise it's really important. Next up we have Wolverine Killable. This is a interlibrary loan book. Of course, I peeled the stickers off so you guys could see the cover. I think that's what I'm going to do. And unless I run into one that's really hard to get off, then I will just link the covers. Well, anyways, this is a prelude story to the Wolverine 3 Months to Die. I just read those within the last month. Actually, I think I read the final part of that storyline last week. And it's written by the same guy, I do believe, which is Paul Cornell. A lot of people are very kind of negative towards his writing style. I guess they really don't like him as a writer. But I do have to say, I thought this was a really good story. I thought it was one that, you know, kind of made Wolverine more human to me. I mean, he's more than just a mutant killing machine. And it kind of, you know, he has to deal with the fact that he is mortal now and own up to how everyone else perceives him, which is, you know, a mutant killer who just ruthlessly kills people, and how all these people look up to him and say, one of the rules as an X-Man is that we don't kill people. Kitty Pryde says this to him in one scene in this book, and he still lashes out at what is originally an innocent bystander, but we learn that they are something much more, and it was all just a setup. So I really, really enjoyed this story. I'm kind of glad that I sought this out and wanted to read it, because honestly, the 3 Months to Die, the storyline that follows this, was not that great. It was okay. It was kind of average. And I've yet to read The Death of Wolverine. I do have it here. I don't know when I'm going to get to it. Probably within the next week or two. But I really enjoyed this one. I thought this was a much better story than The 3 Months to Die. So if you're into wanting to know about The Death of Wolverine, this is probably one you should check out. I would read this, and then depending on what I'm going to think about The Death of Wolverine, but you should definitely check out this one. I rated this one 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It's a pretty good story. I mean, I thought it was kind of touching to learn a little bit about the Wolverine and see him as a real person, so yeah.